everyone, Mrs. Hanson here. Today I want to just demonstrate a few ways that you can make a prepared ground for your nameplate. So I'm going to move this piece over for just a second. So one thing that you can do is get yourself a regular Ziploc bag. It doesn't have to be Ziploc, it could be any kind of plastic bag. And then grab a marker that is water-based. This happens to be a skinny Crayola type. You can use the fatter Crayolas. You don't want to use a Sharpie or anything that's a permanent marker. Only water-based markers work. So then you're just going to simply take this and add a bunch of color to your paper bag, your plastic bag. And then I'm going to grab another one just to do a combo. Okay, like so. And then the next thing you're going to do, it's nice if you have a spray bottle and you can spritz this, but since I don't know if everyone does, I'm just going to use the time-tested dip your fingers into water, because I think you guys all have fingers and probably water. And now I'm just going to add some water to this. I don't want to add a ton. I want to add just enough that I start to see that the marker is releasing just a bit. I don't know if you guys can see that. A bit more over here. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to slide this up, grab one of my pieces of paper, and now just quickly, I'm going to flip this over. Oops, well, I missed a little bit. And you can let it grab like this, or you can sort of move it around a little bit with your fingers. And then peel it up quickly, and you see that you get sort of a tie-dye effect. Now, I still have some ink left on my bag, and so I'm going to go ahead and, since I didn't get any down here, do it again over here. And maybe a little here. So if I wanted to go back in later and do a little bit more in some of these other areas, I can. But overall, you can see that I get this like sort of interesting tie-dyed feeling. Here's one that I did a little bit earlier. Okay? So that's one thing that you can do. Another thing that you can do is grab yourself a piece of saran wrap. And this is for people who have watercolors. Get yourself some saran wrap, and this is the watercolor that I sent home to you, some of you. If you have these little tubes, you'll notice that some of them are a little dried out, so you want to unscrew them, drip a little water in from your faucet, screw it back on, shake it, and then you should be able to get a little dab here and a little dab here, okay, of your color. So now what you're going to do, take some water again, and get some on the plastic. I'm going to spread it around a little bit. It doesn't have to be a ton. Then I'm going to take a brush, pick up a little bit of this paint, and drop it in to where the water is. Doesn't have to be any particular pattern. Okay, I'm going to take this one, drop it in, maybe a little bit over here, balance it out. Now what I'm going to do is take my piece of paper, and I am just going to set it right on here and press down just a bit. And I'm going to wipe up some of this excess over here just to keep it a little bit tidier on the back. And then I can actually flip it over. Ooh, look what we got there. And again, if you want to move it around a little bit, you can. Okay, so that's thing number 2. Now this one's a lot wetter, a lot more wet. So you'll want to let that dry and I'll tell you what to do later if it buckles on you. So you can see that before, this one had a little bit more texture, and this one is a little bit more smooth and runny, okay? So those are two things you can do. One last thing I want to show you that's kind of fun to do. If you use that same marker or same type of marker, water-based, and you come in and just draw some lines, for example, on your dry paper, then you can take a paintbrush, get some water, and you can actually just wet it, and it'll make a really nice, it'll have, the ink will bleed just a little bit and give you a really nice watery effect. So these are our 3 ideas, okay? Now, you can use a blow dryer also to move, if you get a lot of water on it, you can use a blow dryer to move things around. You can also take another piece of dry paper, press it on something that's wet. Oh, it wasn't wet enough, but sometimes you can make a print that way. In fact, let me demonstrate that really quick. I don't want this video to be too long. But say I do this, get some water in there, and then just fold it in half. You'll get sort of an interesting print of it on the other side. Okay, so once these are all done, let them dry. If they ripple, all you're gonna do is iron them out, but check with your parents. What I do is I take just a dish towel that's kind of old, lay my piece on top of that, another dish towel on the top, and then this is my craft iron that I use, and you just press. Definitely check in, make sure this is okay. You don't want to mess with people's irons. Okay, and this will not only help dry it, but when you're done, it'll be perfectly flat for you to do your calligraphy on. Okay, I apologize for the haphazard quality of this. I'm just learning how to make these videos. So I hope this gives you some ideas. I miss you guys. Have a great day. Bye.